stay connected with no Wi-Fi. Gotta keep some exotic so I stay high. Gotta hustle every day just to get mine. Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it. You gotta be your own way, let me see you move. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. All night and all day, this is what we do. Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it. You gotta be your own way, let me see you move. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. All night and all day, this is what we do. You can call me the Minnesota Songman. Take a look at my guns, I'm a strong man. Used to do my own dirt as a young man. Now I gotta go to work as a grown man. Got my own groove, now I got my own style. Grew up a Minnesota wild child. Had to ski my own way in the wintertime. Now I ride my own wave in the summertime. Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it. You gotta be your own way, let me see you move. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. All night and all day, this is what we do. Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it. You gotta be your own way, let me see you move. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. All night and all day, this is what we do. Ain't nobody colder. I'm from Minnesota, just keeping it cool. I'm just keeping my cool. Ain't nobody colder. I'm from Minnesota, just keeping it cool. I'm just keeping my cool. Oh, catch you do frame, I'm a nice guy. Come at me wrong, I can be the bad guy. Gotta keep it bomb lady, cause I stay fly. It's gonna be a fun day when we get signed. Chilling out, I be gazing at the night sky. In and out, stay connected with no Wi-Fi. Gotta keep some exotic so I stay high. Gotta hustle every day just to get mine. Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it. You gotta be your own way, let me see you move. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. All night and all day, this is what we do, what we do. Ain't nobody colder. I'm from Minnesota, just keeping it cool. I'm just keeping my cool. Ain't nobody colder. I'm from Minnesota, just keeping it cool. I'm just keeping my cool. Ain't nobody colder. I'm from Minnesota, just keeping cool. I'm just keeping cool. Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it. You gotta be your own way, let me see you move. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. All night and all day, this is what we do. Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it. You gotta be your own way, let me see you move. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. All night and all day, this is what we do.
What is going on, everybody, man? Welcome to the Nashville Cavemen podcast. I am one half of your host, Damo Unleashed, here with my partner in crime and my brother, man. Go ahead, introduce yourself, and let's go ahead and get this show going.
What's up, everybody? First of all, shouts out to you, Damo, and congratulations, man, on seeing another Tuesday. You know, we ain't promised tomorrow. Thank God that we woke up today. Shouts out to everybody that's watching and will be commenting. For a lot of y'all that don't know, man, I had my first match Saturday. I was gone for 14 months. 14 months. It was an emotional time because I didn't know if I was gonna ever get back in the wrestling ring again, but I was able to do it. Shouts out to John Poe, who was my opponent. John ain't a very big guy. He probably weighs less than 200 pounds, but I needed a smaller guy because I couldn't be picking up big guys and trying to test my wrist. I'll do that later on. But yeah, so the Top Rope Wrestling, shouts out to everybody that came out, and we had a nice crowd. And 2/3 of them came to me and said, the only reason we came today is because we saw you on the flyer. So thank y'all for that. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Miss Donna, Kim, Kilo, the whole Top Rope family, the whole Hudson family, the whole Barnes family, all the boys in the back, the crowd. You know, I had an amazing time. Again, I did not know. I had to pray and guess every day on whether I was going to return to pro wrestling or not. And I was able to do it last Saturday at Top Rope Wrestling. So God is good. But, you know, that's just one thing. Everybody also knows that I'm a music publisher. So, you know, we got the radio show that comes on tonight, offtopradio.com. If you have any music, send it to me at sky.black@gmail.com. That is sky.black@gmail.com. And then we stream it on offtoprecords.net. Like net stands for networking. So the artists can get together and network. And, you know, past that, man, I've just been doing my other businesses, man, and trying to move forward, man. How you doing? Amber,
Man, you
what's
know
going
what?
on, sweetheart? How you doing?
The week went by real quick for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's just February, but it just seemed like we was just now celebrating New Year's. Man, it don't feel like it was that long ago, but
You
man,
know,
here it is.
you know,
Valentine's Day is on deck.
are you in New York? Shouts out, girl. Why are you in New York for? It took a white person in wrestling to remind me that this was Black History Month. I forgot all about it.
Man, I'm so sick of Black History Month, man. I think they need to just do away with it. I don't get it, man. It's all American history. You know what I'm saying? And so I wish they just went ahead and just, did away with it and just incorporate it in schools. Teach the history in school. Teach all of American history. It is all American history. So
also, Amber, you live in New York now? Well, congratulations. I flew to New York back in 2019. I think I was in Manhattan. So, if you're having a good time up there and that's what's the best for you and your family, y'all be safe up there. Because if you from the South and you ain't never been to New York, it's a whole different experience, man.
Man, New York was one of the places for the longest while I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I am cool on New York. I am cool on California, especially California. Now, I would go to New York just for the Statue of Liberty. And, I would love to go to a bodega and some other stuff. There is some cool things about New York.
Yeah.
But
she said she don't like it. She's coming back soon. Well, as soon as you come back, holler at me so we can catch up. I'm glad that you're doing all right.
How long have you been gone from Tennessee?
Yeah, Amber, how long you been up there in New York? She'll text back in a moment.
Yeah. Because, man, I had a good friend of mine. She said, okay, I will. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah.
Man, if you can, Amber, man, hang with us and watch the show, okay? I know you might be busy, but if you do get a chance, come hang with us and watch.
Yeah, buddy. She left January 4th.
She left January 4th. Okay, so you haven't been gone long. Yeah. I had a friend of mine leave a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And when he came back, he was like, Nashville, it's not what it was when he left. And I was like, yeah, nothing looks the same.
Nope. You're absolutely correct on that. I think I'm turning that to me. Nashville is going to become the New York of the South because they're going to tear these buildings down and it's going to be just like New York because there's more space going up. So why take a house and widen it? But I can take that house, cut it in half, and just go straight up. You'll have a house that got like 6 floors to it.
It already looks. You can tell that the contractors are from upstate because the buildings look like they're New York, Chicago. They look straight up and down.
Yep, that's right.
And so, do you like that look, man? What do you think about that?
I'm too. For me, I'm too old school. I've been here too long, so no, I don't. I'm sorry. I know things change, times change, generations change, but Tennessee, it to me has always been like the cousin of Texas. Texas is a huge state, so everything in Texas is wide. So when you buy a house in Texas, you have a 6-foot house. Not a mansion, but a 6-foot house with 5 bedrooms on 6 acres of land. It was wide. You didn't see tall buildings in Texas because you have all this land. That's how it was sort of here in Tennessee when it was a lot of farmland. Now, most of these cities that were farmlands, now they're becoming small, unincorporated towns or cities. So now they're turning them into like New York style cities, and it's just becoming ridiculous. Like now where I live, they have ordinance that you can't park on the street. I ain't never had that in Nashville. And if my house was there, I could park on the street.
They said you can't park on the street?
Yeah, where I'm at, yes. There's an ordinance. They all have driveways. I'm like, but still, even if I have driveways, if I'm in front of my house where I can't park on the street, you can't because somebody complained about the cars being in the way, not where I live, but just here in Wilson County, and then you can't park on the streets. The cop, if they want to, can give you a ticket for parking on the street.
That's nuts, man. And so what happened if you got a big old party? You just what?
That's what I was saying. Because when I'm at, my driveway can hold 4 cars, and then if I put 2 or 3 in front of my house, that's 7 cars. But now they're talking about they don't want you parking there. So what most people do, they still park during the day, but at night they have to find somewhere to put these cars, and they don't have enough in their driveway.
What, can you put them on your yard?
I wouldn't. You mess up your grass if you did. I wouldn't.
Hell,
I don't know. No, yeah, you're right, Amber. Nashville has gotten crazy. It is.
Yeah, it's and you know, and they was talking about this too. Remember, Sky? We was just having this conversation. They were talking about in Nashville, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is across the country. This ain't just Nashville, but this is pretty much across the country. For Generation X and the millennials, game over for y'all. Game absolutely over. I'm gonna tell y'all. They saying the average house, cost of a house, you're gonna pay about $400,000.
That's right.
There's very few minimum places where you can buy a home for $250,000 or less.
That's
in the places where you still can find homes at those prices, there's not jobs there. Correct. There's not any jobs there. So of course, the house is going to be less because you got to drive so far out or go elsewhere for work.
That is right. So
the major cities.
So the only thing you can do, like if you're in a place called Bluff, Tennessee, or White County, places like that, where you can still get those homes for around $200,000. Those would be investments. You would buy that home, you would take 5 years to fix it up, and probably within 5 years, they will start building a McDonald's and Kroger's and Walmart around it. Then the 5 years of investments, you would be able to get it back. You can sell the house, sell the land, rent the house, or whatever. But if you want to start investing into real estate, then yes, your first investment house needs to be somewhere out in the counties where these Amish people still living. There's probably no electricity enough to go out there and buy you some land, some homes. Don't look for a return on investment today. Because like he said, there's nothing out there. That's why they're selling so cheap. But you best believe Tennessee is growing. So eventually these places where it's nothing but trees and woods, they're going to be cities eventually. Because right now they're like little towns or unincorporated towns, or what we call just the county. You know, you call 911, the sheriff comes to your house. That's where you need to be investing right there before they become a major city. And that way they have to pay you out of whatever you own up there.
Because you know what let me tell you, you know what they say in order even to qualify for a home, you know what your income gonna have to be?
What's that?
110 to 150,000. If you haven't at least reached $100,000, forget it. Don't even apply for a house. You ain't gonna qualify.
And that's crazy. Amber, where was you looking? What parts of Tennessee? Like, what counties was you looking? Because anything that touches Davidson County is high.
You ain't getting that. It's over.
Clarksville, Springfield, Gallatin, Franklin, Brentwood, Mount Juliet, like anything that touches Nashville, it's over. You have to go out like if you head towards Gatlinburg, Tennessee, all those little small towns that if you blink, you'll miss them, and start investing in places like those before they get turned over to these constructions.
Yeah, Shelbyville, Clarksville high too. Hey, what's going on, Joni? Hello from Indiana.
Yeah, shout out to Indiana. Joni Lewis, that's what's up. Hey, is it expensive to live in Indiana? I used to wrestle up there in Indiana for RWF, Refocus Wrestling, Johnny Richards and Chloe and them. Now in Indiana, they have more farmland than cities. So you could probably get you an affordable place up there, at least between Kentucky heading into Evansville. I've seen a lot of that, So you go to Kentucky and get you some investment properties, certain parts of Indiana, things like that. But in Tennessee, it don't look like that no more. It's the interstates, Or you can go into Atlanta, because once you pass Atlanta, To go down to Miami, it's nothing but farmland. There's no major cities past Atlanta heading south. So you go into Georgia, southern Georgia, and try to get you some land and houses before they turn those little towns into major cities. So Amber, you been from Shelbyville to Clarksville. Amber, in Clarksville, there might be some, and if it's not in Clarksville, then you might want to kind of go into Kentucky.
I can tell you now, Amber.
Yeah, 4-bedroom, 800
Amber, it ain't really here.
Hey, you need to jump on that. Jump on that. You get a 4-bedroom for $800 a month in West Virginia. That's something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it's gonna get worse, y'all.
T baby, how you doing? That's what's up. How are you? Oh Lord.
Hey, you know what, Sky? So
What's
you know what I want to ask you about? All right, I wanted to talk about. So y'all know the Super Bowl is less than a week away, and you know they're going through the interview process and whatnot. But I was thinking, man, do you think that they need to take gambling out of, like, they need to separate gambling from professional sports? Because there are way too many athletes that are gambling on, you know, teammates and each other and everything. So do y'all think that Vegas need to take the NFL, NBA out of gambling? Like, you shouldn't be able to gamble in Vegas on the NFL and NBA. Because to me, the reason why I haven't got on FanDuel or any of them other ones, I truly believe they're shaving points. I believe they're cheating. And there's been some. And I was going to say, I believe it's been some calls that there's so quiet. We was talking about that with the Dallas and Detroit game. This is about a week and a half ago.
Right. That
call on that 2-point conversion was so bad that, man, I mean, I'm surprised they're not being investigated. I actually think they should have fired them refs.
That is true. You know what? When I was coming up, T-Baby, I said the same thing. It was better for the man to just go on down there and put himself on child support, even if he was living with the mama, because the check is coming back to the same household. At the point in time, child support only took $2.50 to process it, right? So if you paid $50 a week, you would pay them. They would take the $2 and something out. She would receive $47 a week, cash the check, and give it back to you. So that way, you still had a track record, even if y'all was living together with the child support. You know, but now the laws have changed so much. If a woman says, "Hey, I'm pregnant," one of the things we should do, and I got to talk to you, because I had a girl who disagreed with everything we talked about the DNA testing when a baby's born. One thing you should do, get a DNA test, like Damo said, and 2, look up your child support laws, because even if you're going to be the greatest daddy in the world, like he said, if you have no track record of what you're doing, it's all a gift. But to the task at hand, man, okay, so you're never going to stop gambling or cheating, because as a player, I can shave points without you knowing. I can tell you I'm sick, my stomach hurts, I'm just having a bad day. You know, 2, we all know sports was started from the mafia. When they took, because you know most sports itself started overseas in Europe and places like that. When it got to America, that's why they call it American sports. The only people who had money to do it was rich white men that own land and the mob. Nobody else had money to put sports together, NBA, NFL, MLB, because hockey started in Canada from slaves. Did you know that? You have to read about that. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Hockey, as we know today, the slaves that left south and went up north, and when the northern people didn't want them and they went into Canada, they started hockey.
Wow.
Yeah. So by the time it came back to America, the only people who could put the NHL together is the mob. So I don't think we will ever get gambling itself out of the DNA of any sports.
Oh, I think they need to keep gambling. I definitely don't think they need to do away with it. I think even horseback, you know, like the horse races, I think you should be able to gamble on those. But I think anything that, and regarding like human, like us, we need to stay out of it. Because I think, man, it's too much corruption.
Right.
I think we are way too corrupted to be betting on NFL games. And a lot of times you're betting on how many touchdowns a player going to have or how many yards they're going to have. And I think some of them may even purposely, right, have a friend go in and bet on them and come up short. And I think a lot of it is by design. And I think Amber was like, it's all a scam. It's all a money scam. And
T-Baby, you're right. T-Baby, you're right. The lottery is so rigged. It is. The lottery is really rigged, man. That's crazy. It is.
And I believe they figure out who wins after the fact.
Yeah. And then the crazy part is the people that win the lottery, 90% of them go broke in 5 years. Yeah. They go broke in 5 years. I saw a story and a documentary on that. And one guy won the lottery twice. He won it twice. And the second time he didn't go broke because he learned from his mistakes the first time. But most people that win it, man, in 5 years, it's like they never had it.
Especially men. Men, I could really see. You know what I'm saying? Going broke. Because, man, we get money, and then, man, them females get in our face, and it's over. Because, we don't know how to think with the right head anyway. We'll trick half the money off.
That is true, man. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I used to play scratch offs for fun, and the only thing I ever won was another scratch off. I've never played the lottery. I used to watch my grandmama and them play numbers because I'm old enough to remember the number man. I don't know about you, but the number man would come by and get your numbers, put three in a box, give it to the number man, give him $5, $10. He would run it up to the number thing. Yeah.
Man, it was funny when the lottery, because I was down here when they were still running numbers. And then the lottery came in, and it was so funny to me coming from Ohio, because Ohio had its lottery for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to see Tennessee finally and it wasn't even a lottery, it was scratch offs. And I'm like, you guys are excited about some damn scratch offs? And they were smart. Because let me tell you what they were doing, right? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you how, and this is how you know they're corrupt.
Right.
Now, out of all the people that wouldn't play, you had some people that would go and get 10, 20 scratch offs at a time when they first came out, right? And you would think about all the people that played, and the winners, they would take their winnings up in the front by the window. So they made you think that you literally had a chance. And people weren't thinking about this part of it. Well, yeah, this person won, but how many tickets was purchased before these 50 people up on this wall were winning lottery tickets won? How much money did they spend before they won that 500? Because if you spent 700 and then you won 500 back, you're still 200 in the hole. So right. You really didn't win anything. You still lost. You just lent money. That's all you did. You just lent money and finally got it back.
That is true. And before Tennessee had a lottery, a lot of folks was playing the Kentucky lottery, right? A lot of Tennesseans, especially if you lived on the border, will cross the border and play the lottery. But see, this is what a lot of people don't understand about two things, right? Two things that was illegal that people don't understand. If you had a Tennessee residence, it was illegal to play the Kentucky lottery. If you had a Tennessee residence, it was illegal to go into Kentucky, buy groceries, and bring it back to Tennessee. Do you know that's what people were doing? Because Kentucky don't have taxes on their groceries. So if $100 is 50 cents, it's 50 cents. So those who lived at the border, like Dover, Tennessee, Clarksville, they would go into Kentucky and buy groceries and they bring them back and eat them, or buy groceries and bring them back and resell them with the tax. So that was illegal. And it's still illegal to this day if you get caught doing it. They would go into Kentucky and play the Kentucky lottery, and you weren't supposed to do that unless you was a Kentucky resident. But now they talk Tennessee, this Bible state, into gambling, because that's why they didn't want gambling here, because a lot of these Christian religious people was like, that's the devil's game. But they finally talked them into saying, we're going to bring it here, and that's why they brought it here, because they knew a lot of Tennesseans was giving Kentucky a lot of money trying to win this Kentucky lottery. But they were like, well, hell, we might as well just have one here and steal the money here. You know what I'm saying? What happened?
Which I didn't understand why it took so long for them to come up with it, because most of the time when they get that money, it goes into schools. It actually, finance was supposed to.
Well, it's supposed to, yeah. And there's a lot of people that has gotten the lottery for schools and all that stuff. But, you know, they making it hard to get it. When it first came out, you wrote an essay or something, you got it. Now they're tightening up the belt strings, so to speak, and it's making it hard to get this, what's it called, Hope Scholarship. That's what it's called, the Hope Scholarship. So, you know, the more people that comes into Tennessee, the more scratch offs, the more people are winning. If the lottery starts to lose money, like they think it's losing, it's going to be hard to get these scholarships to go to school. Or the scratch off tickets are going to go from $5 to $6. But it's all a scam and a rig to keep people from realizing the real thing. But that's another conversation. But yeah, gambling will always be here for people, because what did they say? The old folks who say an idle mind is a devil's workplace, right? So you got to give the people of the United States things to do when they're not at work. You got to give them sports, you got to give them TV shows, and you got to give them gambling. They all put endorphins in your body. For everybody that's listening, right? The biggest organ on your body is your skin. But your skin is the less part of your body. From your head to your feet, you're made up of nothing but cells and chemicals. The human body is made up. So everything you do, even when you see me blinking my eyes, it's because there's a chemical being released for me to help my muscles blink my eyes. So this chemical called the endorphins goes into your body, and that's what gives you that, you know what I'm saying, that excitement. And that's what they want you to have to go spend your money.
Right.
So always remember that. Anytime you get up and walk, go to the bathroom, when you're about to get mad, when you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, it's a chemical being released into your body to give you those thoughts and things like that. Everything you do is a chemical. That's why when people say, oh, you crazy, you have a chemical imbalance. Some people do have a chemical imbalance, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so you have to think about that.
Especially when it comes to addiction.
Yeah, an addiction, that's a chemical too being released. That's right. So when they give you these pills and these shots, it's just anti whatever the chemical is, because the depression is a chemical that your body is releasing. So they give you anti-depression pills, which is just can control that chemical. Or people who have their thyroids removed, you got to be on medication for the rest of your life, because thyroids control 2/3 of the chemicals in your body.
Yep.
So yeah, so they'll never do it. I mean, that you know, gambling will be there some way, form, or fashion. And once the government learn how to tax anything, then that's when it become legal. Because then they've learned how to tax marijuana, so they ain't gonna smoke you some marijuana.
Have they even legalized that yet in the state of Tennessee, or do you think it's coming?
It's coming, you know, because it took them a while to do medical marijuana. But they eventually gonna do it, because one thing that's more important than God is money. And I hate to say that. I'm not even trying to be funny.
No, you're right.
There's a lot of religious people that have stopped a lot of things in the state of Tennessee. Do you know when the Titans were coming, they didn't want them to come? There was a lot of religions and churches that didn't want them to come. When the Titans first got to Nashville, they fought over where the stadium was going to be, because by law, you cannot have churches next to any venue that sells alcohol within 50 miles. And so they had to either move some of these churches, or they had to put the stadium where it is today, so it wouldn't be close enough to any churches, because you can't be within so many miles of selling alcohol in churches. So what they do, they give these churches these incentives or tax write-offs or whatever they got to do for them to shut their mouths so they can get done what they need to get done. So always remember that when something's trying to come that they deem is evil, it's just the church. It's just religious people saying that, well, God won't like this. Well, what about we give you
I know why they did that.
And let's see what he says. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I could tell you my belief in why they did that, though. I believe they did that because they want them husbands to have an excuse to stay home from church. That's all that was. You know, the men had all, they said, I can't wait till football season come so I can have an excuse of why my leg hurt and I'm staying home watching the game today. You know what I'm saying? They wanted that collection plate money. They ain't want the men to be staying home and whatnot. Hell, shoot. I believe it was more of that than anything. They ain't want the men to be like, ooh, man, let me stay home today, man. Watch this Titans game. But man, trying to go to church and you got football in Nashville? Because before Nashville, you was here before I was.
Yes.
What was it for men to do on Sunday without the Titans?
Without going to a physical football game, you could watch it on TV, but at the time, TV sucked back then. You gotta realize this is before 4K, high def, standard def. So going to church was a thing. Because a lot of times football didn't come on to about 2-3 o'clock. Then with the Titans playing, it comes on at noon. So you got to think, well, hell, if church starts at 10, am I going to be back in time to get to the game, or am I going to be back in time to watch the game? And that was one of the things too. I don't know for a fact, but I will agree with you, Damo. That's one of the things too that could have stopped them from wanting the Titans to be here. Because they said you could have the Titans in the state. We just don't want it here in Nashville.
Man, you ain't lying, because you know what? The church have stopped a lot of things. I'm going to tell you one thing they stopped. And I've noticed that disappeared since I've moved here. And they had a lot of them when I first got here. And I was excited. You know what I'm saying? That they had this. They had a lot of strip clubs.
Yep.
There was a lot of strip clubs.
Gentlemen clubs too.
Hard to find one now.
Yeah. And same part, I've been to them all. The only one I didn't go to was what was that called? The one that had 30 beautiful ones and 5 ugly ones.
When you say ugly, what do you mean by ugly?
I don't know. That was just it was downtown. I can't remember the name of that strip club. Deja Vu. That's the only one I've never been in. But all the other strip clubs in Nashville I've been in. And I've been in the gentlemen's clubs too. You know, like them, we had to come in suit and tie. You couldn't touch the girls and everything was high and all that old stuff, you know, as far as food and drinks. So you're right, they got rid of a lot of that stuff. They did. They felt like that
they disappear overnight. You hear me?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's the one thing when you're in the Bible Belt, you know, they vote against a whole lot of stuff. But I think it's going to change because they're trying to locally. Here's the thing I've noticed about Tennessee. Tennessee is still a red state overall, but I think locally it's becoming more and more liberal.
Yes.
And that's why it's getting worse.
That's true. If you go to places like maybe Nashville, we might be more blue here, but if you go to like Cookville and Crossville, they're more red there. Because a lot of these little towns, it's enough of them to be red to turn the state red. Because the last time the state turned blue was in 1992 when Bill Clinton won his first presidency. His second presidency, it was red. But when he won the first one, when he beat George Sr., this was blue. It was blue. And I was like, damn, how powerful do you got to be to turn the state of Tennessee blue? But then here comes Joe Biden, and he beat Trump. You know how he beat Trump? Because he turned Arizona blue.
I'll tell you how
you turn Arizona blue.
No, I'll tell you what they did. I'll tell you what they did. And this is the part that people need to pay attention to this time coming around, right?
Right.
There was a historic amount of mail-in ballots that went out. That's why I think that you can call into question the whole 2020 election, because you had so many mail-in ballots that went out, and they won't tell us how many mail-in ballots that, votes went by that as opposed to in person. Because let me tell y'all something, man, and I'm going to make this short because I know we got to move on to the next thing. I want y'all to think about this, okay?
Yeah.
Most people were either heavy on DT side or JB side, they were heavy on that side. And you could tell the tension between both sides, all right? Especially with all the, the movements that was going on. And, you got people that no matter what was going on, I don't care what was going on with COVID, they was going to get out there regardless and vote, right? If they really felt, if they were on one side or the other, there was people that was like, there's no way we can let the other side get into office. Why did y'all have mail-in ballots? There is no excuse or no reasoning to have that many ballots going out by mail. Unless you're ill, there is no excuse if you are able-bodied that you couldn't go out and vote. When there was all these people at Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart. Even when they told y'all to stay home, if you could go to Lowe's, you could go to Home Depot, you could go to Walmart, why couldn't we go to the ballots?
Correct.
So it's going to be interesting to see this time around how many votes are cast by ballots, because hopefully there won't be another pandemic. You know what I'm saying? We see there's other ways of them trying to keep one party off the ballot. Court systems are saying, well, you know, we're not going to put this person on a ballot. And the last time that happened was Abraham Lincoln, and it was Civil War. So they need to let the people decide. We don't need no mail-in ballots. If you can't get up and go vote, then you just ain't gonna vote. I don't care if I gotta go in a wheelchair and I gotta roll myself down there. The person who I want to vote for, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna vote for him. I don't care if I gotta get on that thing, that little wood board with the wheels like Eddie Murphy was in when trading places. Right. If I gotta get on that and go down the street to get to a library to go vote, that's what I'm gonna do. We shouldn't have no mail-in ballots. Because if you gotta have a mail-in ballot, you know what I'm saying? That's for people that's on their deathbed, and they gonna be gone anyway. What does it matter about they vote? They out of here anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's
if you're in a hospital and you can't get out, I get it. But other than that, there's no excuse. If you're 90, I say that. If you're a certain age and you can't get out the house, I get it. But a healthy person like you and I should not need no mail-in ballot. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, DJ, I'm glad you registered his vote. I did too. Well, it's a lot of things. One, Constitution, voting, and marriage is all outdated and archaic. You will never get it to 100% because the laws that were written when this country was founded didn't know it was going to be over 300 million people, right? These white folks that signed the Constitution did not know that Negroes were going to be able to vote and women were going to be able to vote. So it will never, nowhere near be perfect, right? Then they didn't know that immigrants was going to be coming from other countries into this country. So there is no way to have 100% way of getting this voting thing together unless you go back and you just erase the foundation and start all over again because it's outdated. There's just no way to say who's who ain't. And then on top of that, the Constitution said voting is states' rights, right? That's why we have an attorney general. Each state's attorney general is over the voting system. It ain't like the federal attorney general. That's something totally different. So your attorney general and the governor and state gets together and say, do you need photo ID? Some states say yes, some states say no. Some states say, can we do mail-in ballots? Some states say yes, some states say no. So that's what I'm saying. Now, since 50 plus states have their own, there's no federal oversight because each state controls their own voting. Man, we'll have this conversation till me and you are 90.
Man, and here's what I don't understand. Why do they speak like it's so hard for us, minorities, to get an ID? Minorities of all places, all colors, got ID. We got access to get an ID. If we lived in a town or city that didn't have a grocery store, you think we not gonna get to the grocery store? Of course we gonna get to the grocery store. Mm-hmm. I don't care if the grocery store 2 counties away. We're gonna find a way to get groceries. Right. So if we can find a way to go get groceries, we get IDs. It is, I think in all 50 states, it should be required that you come with an ID. And if you can't get one, obviously voting is not important to you.
Voting is not important to a lot of people. So yeah, you answered that
Right.
question. Yeah, it's not important. It's your right as a United States citizen to vote, but they're not gonna chop your head off if you don't vote.
Right.
So
And I don't think it's a bad thing for the people that don't. I don't get on people who don't vote. I don't get on.
right,
If you pay taxes, you doing your part.
right,
Because we all getting robbed. I'm gonna tell you, they robbing us all.
right,
When we buy something, they tax it about 20 times.
right.
So we all in this whole system corrupt anyway.
I don't get on people who don't vote, but I tell you, if you don't vote, don't complain. That's why I just tell you, if you didn't vote, don't complain. I don't want to hear it because you had a choice to go vote for whoever you wanted to vote for. If they won or if they lost, you didn't participate in the game, so don't complain. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
Right, and I'm gonna add 2 votes to that. You know what I'm saying? If anybody that I'd be like, don't complain. If you voted for a certain party and then certain things got worse and you voted for that person and they now in power, I don't want to hear it. You put them there. You know what I'm saying? And anything, I think what people need to understand is too, our local government is more important than the president. Our aldermen, our councilmen, our governor, our mayor, all of them people are, our magistrate, all of them is more important than the national government because them are the people that put the laws on the books. We was talking about the story last week where that judge here, man, he let a person go that stabbed somebody 108 times. Well, y'all voted this person in here. So that's on y'all if y'all think that's horrible. Y'all put that person in the chamber.
That's right. That's
so local government matters just as much. I know Sky, we might have to end up extending this show because this.
Well, but you're right. But a lot of people don't care. A lot of folks can't even spell alderman, so they don't care about an alderman. A lot of folks don't know who their state senator is. If I went to anybody and say, who is your senator, they're always going to think I'm talking about the 2 that goes to the White House. To Washington, D.C. You have a state senators, too. You have a lot of them. Mine is in Edgehill. Her name was Thelma Harper. For many, 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 many years, nobody ran against Thelma Harper. She's out now because of her age. But I'm telling you, from the 80s to the early 2000s, Thelma Harper won that seat. Nobody went against Thelma Harper. She was our state senator for that district. Then you have your state representative for over the wards. So you need to know these things. So when you want things changed, these are the people that you call. You don't call Joe Biden or Donald Trump when you need things done in your neighborhood. But if you don't know who to call, then you don't know how to get things done.
Because I ain't going to say that those presidents aren't important, but everybody that brings paperwork to their desk to sign, those are your senators, governors, and those are the people that do that, to bring the paperwork to the president's desk to even sign. So you need to know state to state, or at least in your state, who's who. And Sky, you pointed on something that is exactly right.
Right.
One thing I noticed when I started paying more attention to local government is a lot of positions, there's only one party. It's not even 2 parties.
No.
They don't have no competition to run against them. So it's either don't vote at all or that's the choice.
That's the choice. And
that's no choice.
That's right. What's up, CAI? Hey, I didn't know she passed away, Robbie. I did not know Miss Thelma Harper passed away. I should have known that because I knew her personally. Her damn headquarters was on Jefferson Street. I knew her personally. So I didn't know she passed away. So shout out. But you was absolutely right, Damo. That is absolutely correct. Yeah.
And I think they should have term limits. I don't think anybody in government should be able to. What I don't get is how they walk in the office worth so much. Their value and their worth is only so much. They leave out of there millionaires. How is it somebody that only got a salary of 100 to 200 something thousand a year walk out worth millions? You want to tell me that they're not all corrupt, or the majority of them ain't corrupt? And it's like, man, the more power we giving these jokers, the more they're taking advantage of.
That is absolutely correct. And when George Bush II was in office, I don't know if it was his first term when he beat Kerry or his second term when he beat somebody else. That was the richest office ever. From him to I can't think of Dick Cheney to all his cabinet members, they were all millionaires. That was and they said that in history there's never been a president and his cabinets that were all millionaires. They were all rich. None of them were hurting for money.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Obama. Obama is rich. I mean, they rich. You know what I'm saying? And it's you didn't go into office worth this much. How is it that you guys come out?
Okay. The first one was Al Gore, and then the second one was Kerry. Thank you, David. Go ahead.
It was Gore. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I remember the whole. Gore was the one with the whole Florida voting booth scandal that they was talking about.
Yeah. That's still going to this day. Yeah. Florida don't know what they want to do when it comes to voting. They probably got Burmese pythons down there voting shit. You know what I'm saying? They taking over down there in the Florida Keys. So anybody live down the Florida Keys, y'all be careful because y'all being overran by snakes that's not even indigenous to the United States. They still don't know how those pythons have gotten over here. You know what I'm saying? So Florida's terrible when it comes to voting.
All of them is now. Hell, this last one, I'm waiting to see this circus show that we about to have. You know, it's about to be a circus show.
Who the hell is Chad, Robbie? They hang Chad. Who is Chad? But go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry. He said something. They hang Chad.
I see it down below.
Yeah, I don't know.
So me and Sky was talking about this before the show, right?
Right.
And fellas, I was watching this video. I don't know if you guys seen it with Eddie Curry.
Eddie Curry, there you go. Yeah, he played for
Chicago.
Hornets, did he not?
Yep. The Bulls drafted him, and then he played for the Knicks. Well, Eddie Curry, he had a family, but he had a family outside of his family. And his baby's mother, he was paying her, money. You know how he wasn't under child support, but do you know how the mother of your child asks for certain things? She might ask for money, for field trips, or, for private school, or school clothes, or whatever. And he was giving her cashier checks, writing checks to her, giving her money and everything. About $1 million through the child's, his birth all the way to when he reached 18.
Right.
Well, once he turned 18, she went to the courts and was like, he never paid me child support. And then was able to get $1 million plus in child support. And so when Eddie Curry went to court, he showed them, hey, I was paying her. I was taking care of this kid. Here are my receipts. Here's cashier checks. Here's my bank statements, proving that I gave her money. And the court was like, well, you didn't give us that money.
That's right.
And so they made him pay that. They was like, well, that's a gift.
That's a gift.
You gave it to her because it didn't come through us.
That's correct.
It's a gift.
That's right.
And so he had to pay her back.
That's right. So that's another $1 million she's about to get. So she got the first $1 million as a gift. And there's a court saying that you owe another $1 million to go through us. That is absolutely correct. So now when you get a girl pregnant, you need a DNA test. You need to know your child support laws. And then you need to get you a lawyer to find a notary like me to stamp paper that says this is what we're going to do. See, that's his problem. He didn't go through a lawyer and get a notary to say this is how we're going to co-parent and all this stuff. If you're just giving the woman money, yeah, you're right. It's a gift. You ain't taking care of no child. You just giving her hush money to the court laws. Yes.
Which brings me to this, right? Did you ever see the video where the dude he's paying child support, he was at the mall going to do something at the mall.
Right.
And his baby put up and was like, and were harassing him saying, you ain't gonna get him nothing for Christmas. And he was like, well, that's what child support is for. And they got into this big old spat about him, not getting the kid any Christmas gifts, and him saying, well, you know what? That's what the child support money for. So y'all in the comments, man, what do y'all think about that? You know, man, if it was you and you were paying, let's say in hindsight, you were paying $1,500 in child support. Would you still go get Christmas gifts? Or would you just say, well, you need to take that money sent for the child and pay for Christmas gifts and get Christmas gifts for the kid? What would y'all do?
To me, it would go either way, you know. And again, you're talking to a hybrid. I've done both. I've been on child support, but I was one of the few Negroes that got off of child support because me and the kids' mama, we sat down. This is what we're gonna do. When I got my own place, this is how many weekends they're gonna come over. So I never, in the back of my mind, ever thought that once me and her had this verbal agreements, that she would go back and say, "Well, no, he really didn't do none of this." But again, that was a whole different time.
Right.
I'm with you. It just depends on who you are. If it's going through the courts, I'm mailing it to the David County Chancery Courts, and then they're mailing her that check to her address. Then no, the Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthdays is coming out the check. You know what I'm saying? If it's just me giving you a gift, then maybe I might help. But I'm with you, $1,500 a month. Now, if a female is watching us right now and she says that's not a lot, I agree. In 2024, $1,500 not a lot. But I'm just talking about me, 90s, 80s, baby. $1,500 was a lot of money. $1,500 would take care of a girl and 3 kids. Do you hear me? Back when I was coming up. Now it might not. But he's just making a point. $1,500, would you or wouldn't you help with other expenses? And to me, that's just up to the person. I can't judge a person whether they do or they don't, because you are, by law, giving something to that household.
Right.
I think it'd be a gift is a gift, but the courts are not saying that. They're not saying that. They're saying that if you don't go through us and we don't get that $3 filing processing fee, because that's all they want. It's a gift.
It's about the money. It is about the money.
It's about the money. And so most men that get these girls pregnant, they don't have the $400-$500. And this is when I was coming up. It was $450 to get a DNA test. Now, you know, it ain't nowhere, it's got to be higher than $450. So they get these girls pregnant. They can't afford the DNA test. They don't want to pay child support, so they run away from the system. And I'm thinking, dude, as long as you got a Social Security number, they're going to come get you. Most women have the Social Security numbers of the guys that got them pregnant. So to me, it's just a long-term investment. You might not get any child support money today, but when that daddy turns 60 and they taking it out of his Social Security check, he going to wish he had done it 40 years ago when he was supposed to.
Here's the question I got for the ladies. Sky, this is a good question. Ladies, if you had a child with a man and the man was more financially in a better position than you, would you give up your kid? Meaning that if you financially couldn't take care of the kid, you depended on the government for housing and food to help raise that kid, and you needed child support, would you give up your rights to that kid until you got on your feet? Or would you fight and struggle with the with the kid, and then try to go ahead and get, money from the kid? If that father was a good dad and he made good money, would you give that kid to the father temporarily until you got on your feet?
Some would. Some be like, hey, you're the father, I'm on drugs or whatever, and you take care of Danielle for a few years, and when I get on my feet, I'll bring her back and we can co-parent. That is absolutely true. Some will. But from where I come from, the majority of them ain't, because that's not a child, that's money. See, there's a difference. When you have babies having babies, it's not a child, it's money. I'm not going to let this earn income child credit, child support, food stamps, free meals walk over there and I get nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
then that poses this question, Sky.
Yeah.
It made me ask this question, and this might be a show topic. Do y'all believe that if they took away all the government subsidies, right, and programs, that there will be more deadbeat mothers than deadbeat fathers?
That I don't know, but I would tell you crime would be so damn high you would have to sleep with a gun under your pillow. That's why they've never taken it away. Do you know how many Republicans, I don't know if any of y'all are Republicans, but you know how many Republicans, especially in this state, is trying to dead tin care, trying to get rid of food stamps, because some of the food stamps you get is subsidized by the federal government. Some of it is state, some of it is federal government. Well, the state of Tennessee is like, we're tired of taking care of your kids. They basically said that. You out here having a blade on your back, having a bunch of kids. We need to kick y'all off of tin care, and we need to stop giving y'all all these damn food stamps, paying for all this medical stuff. If that was to have happened, you wouldn't be able to sleep. It would be the purge, seriously. Because
I'll tell you what would happen.
Yeah,
No. It wouldn't be the purge. I'm gonna tell you what would happen.
What's that?
Prostitution will go up so high, it will be astronomical. You hear me?
The prostitution will purge you. But could you imagine, like, it would be at the point where you would have to, because you still have a daughter that's in school, right? That's in high school. You would have to put a gun in her backpack to send her to school. Do you hear me? Because the littlest things that she has, because back when I was coming, people were beating you up for Jordans and starter jackets. Hell, they were trying to rob your daughter for the bullets in her hair. If you take away water, food, clothing, and you ain't able to wipe your butt, you're talking about now, and the government's just not going to let it happen. We'll go into trillions of debt before they do any of that right there. They're going to make sure that the American people are fat and fed, because a full baby is a content baby. But yeah, they've been trying to get rid of a lot of that stuff here in Tennessee for a long time, and a lot of people don't know that they don't care. Yeah,
I tell you what, because I know it went up. OnlyFans went up during COVID. I tell you what, if they did away with them programs,
yeah,
you would see so much online stripping. That's what I call it, online stripping. Because now you got these Bigo, you know what I'm saying? OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of this stuff where you see it and you be like, man, this ain't nothing but online stripping.
Yeah.
When prostitution will go through the roof. And Nicole and Natasha, you're right. I think a lot of females will feel like that. They will do whatever they got to do to take care of their kids. And there's some old men, you know what I'm saying, with wrinkly balls, ready to pay that check. They like, hell, I'm gonna get this. And
you know how many women be fighting over sugar daddies? Like,
hell yeah, sugar daddies go through the roof.
And that's what I'm saying. So you got these two young girls that are 25 that's gonna shoot each other over this 80-year-old man. You know, like I said, crowd would be terrible, man. It would be out the roof. That's what scares me. And I hate people who even try to say, well, we should do this. No, man, 300 million people plus. Let me tell you something. So in the United States, right, there's 4.9 million babies born every year. 4.9 million. So that means every 10 years, there are 50 million new people just in this country.
She's saying they're doing that now. You know what? Let me tell you, Sky. Here's something else that people need to pay attention to. And you're right, Natasha. Immigration. They got so many people flooding and crossing that border that here's what happens. The government only got so much to give, right?
Right.
They're giving immigrants already. They already have access to things that we as American citizens don't have access to.
Right.
So when you take a piece of pie and you keep slicing it, eventually what happens?
You go right out.
Piece of the pie gets smaller and smaller. And you're right. Eventually, with inflation, with immigration, and all the stuff that's taking place, give it 10, 15, 20 years.
That's
Maybe not even that. Y'all gonna already see this stuff where there's a lot of young girls, a lot of women right now. And you're right, Natasha, making money online. And I'm telling you, I know apps. Because you know I'm on online. I'm on all the apps. They are around the world making money online. Stripping. I'm telling y'all.
What are you saying, David? Chinese folks, the hole to walk through all their high cartel get them there. And that's true. And y'all, if y'all are listening to me, I understand born as American citizens how it looks. But for some of y'all got to realize These people in these other countries, they're just like you. They want to just take care of their kids, get married, and die. Could you imagine you living in a country where the cartel is cutting people's heads off and sticking them on a stake and putting it in the middle of the town like y'all see in movies? Can you imagine living in a place where the cartel is killing babies like it's nothing? This is why these people are trying to run into that. Not everybody is good. Some of them bastards are bad. But I just believe the majority of the people that's just sneaking over here, trying to get over here, are good people because we're not living there. You know, Damo and me, you and these people that are saying it's too many coming. If we lived in Mexico, we would be trying to run over here too. So I'm with you. The government has to decide who to help and who not to help. But you can't just leave folks because if these cartels and these crooked governments take over like that, you know they're coming after the United States, right? This is why you have the CIA patrolling the world and have ambassadors in places of the world, because if you let dictators and cartels do stuff like that, they coming to the United States next. So this is why they got to help at least somebody somewhere to say, hey, you can't be out here killing women and babies like you changing your drawers.
And here's the scary part for us. Here's what I think all Americans and all of us don't understand. And this is the really scary part for me. I don't think, there's not another country. There's only one way to take down this country, and it's not through military might. I don't think there's not too many countries you can take down through military might because of nuclear weapons, right? Mm-hmm. The weapons are too advanced. So the way that you can take down this country, and it's already taken place, is an invasion. You invade the country, and not only invade it, but you implement ideas from other countries. Because, when they founded this country, and you're right, some of the Constitution needs to be updated. It's very outdated. They need to update it. But you see a lot of ideas from other places being implemented into this country, and it's dangerous. Look at what was going on in Israel and the Gaza Strip. Yep. To have people in Palestine marching and holding up traffic, that's not, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's cool Americans do it. I don't think it's cool that anybody do it, right? Look at when they jumped that cop in New York. That was a story last week, where them immigrants jumped on the cop, beat the cop up, and then they arrested him and let him out the next day. Right. Now, Sky and me and you jumped on the cop. What do you think would have happened?
We going to jail.
We probably be holding up a Daisy.
Yep, pushing up a Daisy too. You's right. You is absolutely right on that. And again, you can see it either way, because at the end of the day, we all supposed to be humanitarians. We can't save everybody because we're not gods. But the hardest part is to be in power. So, Damo, if you become president of the United States and they ask you, are you going to let these people die over here in Palestine and Israel? Because they've been fighting over this Bible stuff centuries and centuries.
For a long time.
Are you going to send $400 million to help them? Or you going to let them come over here and live? Because if you don't do nothing, babies and women and innocent people are going to die every day. We talk about hundreds of people dying every day.
Here's what I would do, and I wish our government would do the same thing. We got to have documentation. We can't go anywhere, and we can't do anything as citizens without having proper documentation.
Right.
All I ask for our government to do is to have documentation on who comes in and out of this country. We will still have the World Trade Centers if you guys had simply did that. You guys are not having document, and I'm talking about not just document, but you should have fingerprint, you should have blood testing, you should have multiple photos, you should have it where you got documentation on who comes over here and who does, first and foremost. Right?
I agree with that. I can agree with that.
And that, I don't think even Republicans' issue isn't immigrants, because for the most part, we're all immigrants.
That's right.
That's not the issue. The issue is two things. First of all, you're letting people over here and you ain't got no documentation of who's who. Now, my wife was assaulted because anytime you was in a accident and then the person isn't who they said they was and they able to skip the country, that's assault. That's a crime. So I don't think stuff like that should be able to happen, right? So that's one, documentation. Number two, man, don't take my money and not take care of the people that's already here first. I don't mind if you're going to tax me. Y'all been taxing us anyway, robbing us, getting rich off of our money, because y'all don't make that kind of money. Y'all make a little bit over what doctors make, and y'all coming out millionaires and billionaires, so we know y'all screwing us over. So all we ask is to take care of our citizens. Take care of them first. Take care of our military personnel first. Don't give free health care to other people, and here American citizens, we got to pay an arm and a leg. And it's our money. Y'all taking our money and giving free health care to somebody else. How is that? Sky, could you imagine me coming to your house right now and saying, let me get that $500 off of you, and then I do whatever I see fit? You're going to be like, hell no, I work for this.
That's right. Well, we're supposed to have taxation with representation. That's what we're supposed to have, right? And so what the government does sometimes is they'll send $400 million to a country, right? A loan, because not all of it is grant, it's a loan. And then tell them, not only you got to pay us this money back with interest, right? But when you need weapons and soldiers, you got to buy from us. So not only are you going to pay me back monthly with interest, but whatever you need to fight this war, you're going to pay me for it. Then that country goes broke trying to pay back the United States. And now that's why we have an embassy over there and we run in that country and we tell that country what to do. So that's why most of the times they do that, because the United States wants to bankrupt a certain small country. So when we need to put military people over there, or when we need to do things, they owe us.
And I think a lot of it is that America is in so much debt. The way that they balance everything out is doing what you just said.
Well, see, and that's a word that a lot of people use, because when you say the word debt, you say it D-E-T, debt. But debt is spelled D-E-B-T. There's a silent B in debt. So people got to understand, we were in debt before 1971. In 1971, when Reagan took the dollar off of silver and gold, we were no longer in debt because it's not backed by nothing. So money is not money, it's just currency. I give it to you, you give it to me, you give it to McDonald's, they give it to Wendy's, we give it to the election people. It's just currency. There's nothing floating the American dollar. So when they say, well, we are 270, we're 21 trillion debt, no, we're not. That's just a number they put up there to scare you into doing what they need to do. The United States.
Lackey,
y'all listen to
me. I agree with what David just. I'm gonna post this up here.
Yeah, yes. y'all listen to me 100%. The United States is not in debt. We have currency. They print the money to flow through the country. That's it. When he took that dollar off the gold and silver standard, nothing is backing the American dollar but our faith. And what's going to happen is China and all these other people that buys our bonds and our debts, when they come to collect them, that's when you're going to have a problem.
Yep. And David, you're absolutely right. Because that's the issue in Chicago, right?
Yep.
Chicago became a sanctuary like New York.
Yep.
All the people was for being a sanctuary city.
Yep.
And now there are schools that they shut down, and now they're opening back up. And not only are they opening these schools back up, they're renovating them. They would not put a dime in these schools when they were running for the American citizen children. But now that they're housing migrants, they're sprucing them up off our tax dollars, and then they're opening it up for people that's not even from here. I have a problem with that too. And I think we're going to find out. I think this year we're going to find out if they really cheat. Because when I tell you that Chicago and New York is in an uproar and they are pissed off, They are pissed off about what's going on. They gave immigrants $9,000 in Chicago for not only they give them housing vouchers, but they gave them $9,000 towards getting furniture for their houses. They're supposed to take care of them for 6 months. They didn't even do that to the citizens of Chicago. So imagine putting somebody in office and then they're taking your tax dollars and you're struggling, and then they're going to say, well, I'm going to give these folks $9,000 a piece in a housing and or apartment voucher. Imagine that.
Well, you don't have to imagine it happening. And so what has to be done in New York and Chicago, because again, the mayor has a council like anybody else. So the governor has a council like anybody else, right? So that's why you need to know who your state senators are and who your state representatives are, because you are the people who elect and put them in there, right? So it has to. Each state has an upper chamber and a lower chamber, right? Each state has a house. Each state has a senate. So when you replace those people with your ideology, then there would be none of this going on. There would be none of this going on, because you would have people in power that says we're not housing nobody, we're not giving nobody this tax money, none of this stuff, right? But then on the flip side, what do you do with these people? Because what's going on, Damo, they coming anyway, regardless. We can't control that whole. We can't control the whole thing. They coming. So either we help them in housing and money, or you tell the police to lock them up. Then if you lock them up for being illegal, then you're gonna run out of jail space. Then you're gonna have to do what they did, concentration camps, because you're gonna have enough jails in the United States to lock up every illegal immigrant here.
Right. And it's cost too much money to keep sending them back and forth.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And it's weird because, like I said, I just think that they just need to make it very complicated to even cross them borders. What they need to do is make sure when they come through, they literally have one corridor they got to come through, and they got to get the proper paperwork. I think they need to speed up the process. I don't think it needs to take all day damn long to get these people processed. But there needs to be a process to get these people in, if you're going to get them in, and to find out who's who. You know, you need to find out, be able to get records from their government to see if these people coming through were criminal records, what their background look like, and everything. And so, yes, there needs to be a better way that they allowing people to cross. But they need to work on that first and foremost.
Okay, and I agree with you saying, because on the United States side, that everything you saying could be true. But you realize some of these countries they coming from don't even know what the hell you talking about. Some of these countries don't have passports that these people are coming from. They don't have what you call customs. These are just folks that are coming out of poor countries, hopping on boats and letting the ocean push them on over here. You know what I'm saying? Or swimming.
I need to find me a poor country.
Or they catching private planes and flying over here. Some of these small countries, that's why they call third world countries. They don't have nowhere near the technology we have to say, hey, you need a passport, or I need a criminal record. A lot of these folks don't even have social security numbers. There's a lot of countries in this world that don't even know what a social security number is.
I know one thing. I need to find me a country that I need to go to, because my country poor the way they borrow money from me. Hell, our country real poor. The way they tax us. Tax us when we get our check. When we spend our check, we get taxed. Buy a house, we tax. They tax us every time. I'm like, damn, don't nobody borrow money like the U.S. government. I don't even have friends that borrow money like the U.S. government. So shit, we poor. They ain't got no money. They money is our money. Our government poor as hell. They ain't got a pot to piss in or the window to throw it out. That's why they need the taxes. They ain't got no money. They borrowing from us. And the poorest friend I got is the U.S. government. The U.S. government, we broke. I'm saying, man, our government is the brokest friend we got.
That's right, man. It's just, you know, I tell folks, you just got to be thankful for what you have, and it's a blessing to be able to get up and see, you know, because nothing is perfect, and unless, because I've watched plenty of movies, but I'm gonna throw one out there that most people have seen, and that is the Marvel movies. But there's other movies that are just like it. Thanos' whole thing was to start over. That's why he was collecting the rings. He wanted to go back to his planet, click his hand, do whatever he wanted to do, wipe out the population, and start over. Even in, I don't know if y'all watched the cartoon called Invincible, Omni-Man. That's what happened on his planet. They killed half of the people that were weak so they could start over and turn the planet into what they wanted to do. It's all about population control. If you don't control the population, I don't care how many laws you pass, how much money you save, we're just going to run out of everything. We're going to run out of food. We're going to run out of water. We're going to run out of land. People going to have to go live on Mars. I mean, it's just real talk. If you don't stop
the crazy part?
Overpopulating.
And you know the crazy part? Here's what's funny about all this, right? You got people from California right now moving to Nashville, moving to this half of the country.
Right.
And they're running away from problems that they helped create in their own state. Right. The tragedy of it all is they're bringing those same ideas over here. We're seeing some of the same problems where they come from. Things are getting, like people leaving California because California is getting too expensive. Mm-hmm. Now you look at Nashville and the natives here are saying what? That it's getting too expensive. The same thing that they complained about in California, are they complaining about New York? Are they complaining about in countries like Venezuela, El Salvador, Cuba, all the rest? They're bringing them ideas here. Mm-hmm. And they're implementing them same ideas, and you can see you've been here longer than me. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you can see how those ideas are landing here, and it's changing. Nashville is not the Nashville I fell in love with when I first got here 20 years ago. And so eventually, they're gonna run out of places to run. That's and what are you gonna do?
What are you going to do?
You're going to change, evolve, start over, Thanos. Because that's really what it's going to come down to.
That's it. You're right. Hey, David, you was right. I got a little brother of mine used to live in Hartsville. He was in an apartment. I can't think of the name of the apartments. And he was paying like $650 a month for a one bedroom. And this was maybe 2-3 years ago. And now those apartments probably are at $1,200 a month now. Yeah, or close to it. Yeah. And this was about maybe 3-4 years ago. Huh?
Do they even have, is the employment market good over there or no?
Oh, Hartsville's just a little town. You blink, you'll pass Hartsville. It ain't big at all. But 4 years ago,
there was some apartment. Go way out to go to work.
Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, because he worked in Lebanon, but he lived in Hartsville.
So how long was the drive?
Maybe 40 minutes.
40?
Yeah. Yep. He got 2 traffic lights. Yeah. He lives over there by the food line. I don't know if it's downtown, but there's a food line over there where he lived by. I forgot what else is over that way. But, some apartments are like up on a little hill. They were grayish looking. And at the time, and then when he renewed his lease, it went to like $700. But then he moved to Gallatin. So I'm pretty sure those apartments that he left 4 years ago are probably close to about $1,000 or $1,200 a month. Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that more than 80% of the people, like if you take the map and you draw down the middle, more than 80% of the people live on the eastern part of the United States. Less than 20% live on the western part of the United States, and I never understood why. And so now you're talking about people from California, Nevada, Oregon, Montana, all these places are starting to come down to Tennessee. That means less people are going to be living out western part of the United States and more in the eastern part of the United States.
You know what's even crazy?
We're really going to be convinced over here.
You know what's even wild? And this is what people don't think about. So you'll take a place like Hartville that's way out in the middle of nowhere, and it's 1,200. Now, most people say that's decent, but if it takes you 40 minutes both ways to get to work, what you will pay for in rent in Nashville, you're paying for in gas. So you're really breaking even.
That's called the economy. That's called the economy. That's it. You have economists that sits down and do what you just said. They pay economists to sit down and do what you just said. So even if you live in Clarksville, right, and you work in Nashville, that's 45 minutes, right? That's an hour away, right? You're going to drive to Nashville for an hour, work 8 hours, drive back home. So you're really gone for 11 hours. It took you an hour to get down here plus traffic, an hour to get back home plus traffic. That's 100 miles in one day. So that means you're doing an oil change once every month and a half. Like most people take 3, 4, 5 months. You're probably at 2 months of an oil change because you're doing 100 miles a day.
Yep.
And I knew a guy back in 2003. I used to work at O'Reilly's in the warehouse. And he lived, bless his heart, this is back in 2003. And he lived in Clarksville. And he told me that. It's like a 45-minute drive. And he's doing about 100 miles a day, 5 days a week. So that's 500 miles a week. And that ain't including whatever he's doing on Saturdays and Sundays when he's ripping and running in Clarksville. So then look at that, 500 miles a week. Come on now.
So you think about this. So not only is it putting wear and tear on his vehicle, but then he's spending so much in gas.
Yeah.
There's people who are literally spending about $200 a week, $150. Let's be light. Let's say you spend $120 in gas a week.
Yep.
Well, that's in a month. That's almost $500. So if you're paying rent $1,200, you add that gas on there, you're paying $700. You might as well say you're paying $700.
And the crazy part is these these car lots are coming to you saying, hey, I can that $700 you spending in gas, I can save you that because these 2024s, man, they good on gas. But that $700 I'll be giving to you in a car payment for 84 months. So either I'm gonna spend the $700 in gas a month, or I'm gonna give it to you for 84 months. There's a no-win situation.
Yeah, it's ugly. For y'all millennials, I feel bad for y'all. I understand now. I'm telling you, when I get online and I see y'all stripping and shaking it and dropping it before it's hot, you know what I'm saying? I understand. Because they got y'all. It's over. If you don't go to college, if you're going to go to school, you better make sure you're going to school for something that when you get out, you can make some serious money. Don't go to college for nothing that's silly and ignorant. Don't waste that money. You know what I'm saying? Because they got y'all. If y'all ain't got no houses right now, woo!
David, your truck drinks $700 in gas in 2 weeks.
You said my truck drinks that in 2 weeks?
You crazy. You need to get
Man,
you an EV, brother.
What?
Electric
Time
vehicle.
to get you a donkey. You better get that donkey in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
Get you a bicycle.
to work.
Yeah. Get you a plug-in electric vehicle. Get you an electric vehicle. You might as well spend that on a Tesla every month.
Don't get no electric vehicle. Don't get no electric vehicle. After y'all see what happened in Chicago, after y'all see what happened in Chicago, ain't no way. I don't want no Tesla at all.
Yeah. And so
did you see his car? You see what happened?
What happened?
So, man, all them people, they cars broke down. Okay, it got so cold that the charging stations even died out. It wouldn't even charge their vehicle. So it was a bunch of vehicles stranded at a charging station, and people was mad because the temperatures got so cold that the stations didn't work. So that week in Nashville, when it was like a -10, them vehicles would have did the same thing here.
Yeah. Well, then you learn something. Don't be in a place, Chicago, Detroit, Wyoming, Wisconsin, where it's really, really cold with electric vehicles.
You don't know.
Like even here in Tennessee, what they finding out, because when you go to the gas pump, whatever you pay, the tax is already in. The money that they use for the tax, right, for your gasoline goes to TDOT, Tennessee Department of Transportation. That money is who they pay to do the potholes, to do the streets, all that little stuff that y'all want done. Well, people quit buying gasoline vehicles and go to EV, that money shrinks. So y'all don't know that right now in downtown Nashville, they're trying to pass a law to where they're going to tax you on your EVs to make up for the money that they're losing from the gasoline tax.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because they realize they're going to lose millions of dollars if people keep buying these EVs because you're not buying gasoline anymore. And that's the money that they was using to pay TDOT, was the gasoline taxes. Yeah.
I tell y'all what, y'all need to go ahead and take care of TDOT because I hit a pothole so hard.
Man,
my
it's
ball
crazy.
started dribbling like a damn basketball. I almost went in the basket. I almost scored for the Memphis Grizzlies, man. That's how hard I hit that pothole.
I mean, these cars out here, Harlem shaking, hitting them damn potholes. And it's crazy because it goes to show you that in Nashville, you either have a bunch of thieves, right? Or you have a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. Because when you get to Bellevue, Belmead, Franklin, Williamson County, you don't run into none of that. Them streets are really paved. Like, they probably just paved them yesterday. Like, those streets have no potholes. The concrete is black. I mean, you drive like it's beautiful. But you come into Nashville and you have all these potholes. I don't know if they're not fixing them fast enough. They got too many people on the roads, or they're not taking that money doing their jobs.
I know what. Ladies, I think y'all need to go ahead and take some of them old wigs y'all got in the closet and then dump them down in the potholes. Because them days anyway. Y'all go ahead, get some rock and some gravel and take y'all little wigs and weaves and just throw it in the pothole so we can just drive over it. Because it feel like we're in a horse and buggy driving down these streets. Hell.
Yeah. And
like
that makes no sense.
Here.
So then you gotta go pay $200 for an alignment, and hope that most cars have struts on them. That's what they're, sedans. Trucks like Davis has shocks, you know what I'm saying? Big trucks have shocks on them. So then you gotta go make sure that ain't messed up or nothing. So yeah, you driving around in a $60,000 car and you hit a pothole really bad, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. That is truly a lot. But that's what the economists do, man. So if you go to school to be an economist, that's what they do. They just sit around and figure out how to take your money. But we can save you money here, but we're gonna take it here. Always remember that if it's some way you can go to save money, it's because they're taking it somewhere else. So it's like saying buy one iPhone, get an iPhone free. Well, that free iPhone is really in the iPhone that you're buying. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. You think you're getting it for free, but they're just charging you double on this iPhone for that one. You never get anything free in the United States. You never. That's why the money is called currency. It's no longer money. It no longer has value. Yes, you're getting up going to work for something that has no value, but you use it to get what you want. And that's what currency is. I want them Jordans, so I'm going to give you $300 of my currency to get that product.
Right.
Yeah. And then they'll take that $300 and give Nike or whoever $190 of it to order another pair.
Speaking of, hey, I want to go ahead and get into the story. This is actually a local story, right?
Right.
And so this man was assaulted by his wife and his daughter because he asked his wife for a divorce. So a man was allegedly attacked by his wife and daughter with a frying pan and a knife on January 27, 2024 at their home in Ashland City, Tennessee, which is back door, right? He suffered 2 gashes to his head, and his wife and daughter, I ain't gonna say their names, were arrested on attempted murder charges.
Good Lord.
And wife and the daughter were behind here after they allegedly attacked their husband and father with the frying pan. Man, I bet you that's that cast iron. Woo! No, that hurt. It happened on January 27th in Ashland City, Tennessee, outside of Nashville. The wife, who was 62, and the daughter, who was 29, are facing attempted murder charges. Obtained the police report and a body camera from the incident. The body camera shows a bloody man and only his underwear on a porch with 2 gashes on top of his head. I can tell y'all right now, that was the end of January, the 27th, it was freezing cold. He said, I've had better days. He told the Cheatham County Police Sheriff's deputy who asked him if he was okay. The man said he asked his wife for a divorce the night, which led to an argument that lasted several hours. Well, he crazy because ain't no way I would have argued for no damn 7 hours. That thing would have lasted about 5 minutes. He then went to bed and woke up in the morning to his wife and daughter allegedly attacking him with a frying pan and a knife. The man said he asked his wife for the device. I'm reading that. Hold on, I'm going down. I got a couple blows, he said, pointing to his head. Strolled down some more. The daughter also allegedly, the wife allegedly choked her husband with a belt. Damn. But he was able to break free. The daughter reportedly threatened to kill her father as she held a knife. The victim said he wrestled the knife away from his daughter and he fled to a neighbor's house because he feared for his life. The neighbor advised the victim showed up at his residence covered in blood and wearing only his underwear, claiming that his wife and daughter had attacked him. The affidavit reportedly said deputies responded to the neighbor's 911 call. All right, so a deputy walked over to the man's house, saw the two women in the living room with several injuries. He started this at 11. He stated this at 11 o'clock last night. A crying Kelly Davis said, that's the wife. He's done this before. So I'm guessing he asked for a divorce before. I don't blame him. I don't think I would even ask. I don't think I would ask no more. I think I'd just go get one. The two women appeared to have been slashed with the knife, but deputies reportedly said the wounds were superficial, meaning that they probably cut themselves. They crazy. Deputies took the wife and the daughter to Cheatham County Jail. The two since posted bond. So, fellas, honestly, you know what? I want to say this. Females always say, to be honest, if it's an issue, let's go ahead and talk this out. Which it sounds like obviously this man did. He went and he talked it out, said, hey, babe, you know what I'm saying? You're a little cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. I want to get a divorce. Now, where he messed up at is, if you're going to ask for a divorce, I advise you not to sleep in that same house. But honestly, this brother didn't get the memo. He woke up to frying pans and his daughter holding a knife. And he ran out in his damn whitey tights, man. And it was cold January.
Well, yeah, David said I would have packed my bags and read it, and I would have ran like hell. I feel you, DJ. I would have too. But I don't know how the conversation went, because it's like you can have a conversation with your wife, Damo. Would you ever think that she would hit you with a frying pan? Like,
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, well then you learn something from this then, okay? So you know, depending on the conversation, that you need to be outside when you had that conversation. But most men don't think that their females gonna hit them with a frying pan. So if he would have thought that his daughter and his wife was sort of that ghetto and vicious, maybe he would have did a different route. But you know, we can't predict the future. If I'm with a woman and I'm thinking, hell, she's docile, she's gonna be mad, but she'll get over it. I won't go to sleep until I wake up and I'm getting hit with the frying pan.
And Sky, and this is what I'm going to lead them with. This is what I'm going to tell. This is why that before you make a commitment to somebody, you need to know, how do they react when they're angry? All right? Mm-hmm. If they're real calm and they're collected and they are gathered when they're angry, I'm talking about at their angry.
Yeah.
You got somebody that you can work with. Now, if you got somebody who They easily get angry. When they do get angry, they get destructive, meaning that if they ain't attacking you, they're attacking your belongings. That is somebody I advise y'all don't get with. I don't care how good the coochie and the dick is. Do not get with that person. All right? Y'all think that, man, the person has mental instability is sexy. Ain't nothing about being bipolar or none of that sex. I'm sorry. It's not sexy. I've never found a crazy bitch to be sexy. I'm scared if you crazy. If you crazy and you upset and you get, you know what I'm saying, out of character, when you angry, I don't care how good you look. I don't care how good that little hole that humans can come out of is. I'm not trying to get with nobody like that, man. I don't want somebody that watch me when I sleep. It's some certain behaviors that if you got, we can't get together. I'm sorry. You know, and this is stuff that you got to figure out in the dating stage.
That's correct.
It's not cool. If your chick cuss you out, going through your phone, putting a tracker device on your car, any of that, you need to pack your bags, like my boy David Lackey said, and get the hell out of Dodge.
That's right. Shouts out to AK. What's up, Angela Kennedy? Again, some women, you can tell them, hey, this is what I've done, this is what's about to happen, and they will show you their true colors, right? They'll get upset, rip things, throw things, stab you, but then some women won't say nothing at all. They're just like, okay. Them the ones you better not go to bed, because they're plotting your death. I'd rather you be mad, throwing hands, yelling, screaming, so that way I already know that, hell, when she goes in the kitchen, I'm going to slide out the front door. But if she just sits there and be like, you know what, this is what you want, that's fine. I'll be like, hell, I got to sleep 1 hour.
No, I'll be scared of that. But you know what? It depends on her behavior. Because, see, her temperament, these are things you got to know. Not only her temperament, but then it's important to ask about her family upbringing.
Oh,
that is important. Meet the mama. Meet the grandma. Because if your mama crazy, if auntie crazy, you got to dig in the background and see what kind of background your significant other. We don't do enough history. I'm telling y'all, we put too much emphasis on we are afraid to be alone, first and foremost. We let our feelings do the thinking for us, and we do not do enough background check. Because I'm telling you, man, I broke up with chicks that once I seen that they had a crazy background, even if things were good between us. Once I seen that there was any red flags in their background, this is over with. I'm not getting stabbed over you. I'm not getting dying over you. I'm not getting killed by you. If you jealous, that I'm not dealing with none of that. Any jealousy, I can't do it, man. Wherever I go, that's where I go. You ain't my mama. You ain't my mama to ask me where am I going. Now, I should tell you, baby, I'm going here to let you know. That way, if I ever end up missing, you can say, well, last he said he was there. And I should check in with you. But it's not your job to ask me where the hell I been, woman. I'm a grown man.
Right.
I don't mean preach to y'all. But I'm just saying, man.
Preach, brother, preach.
If it's any sign that you crazy, and we get them signs, but our fear of being lonely, you know, love make you do stupid stuff. Love will make you stupid. That's why you can't build a relationship on emotions. It got to have logic over emotions, first and foremost. Second of all, man, you know what? Do not become a slave to sex. I don't care if you got to beat your own meter, if you got to tap your own water. You can't be a slave to sex. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, you know, let that water flow. Don't let somebody give you. Some of y'all ladies, man, y'all get dick and y'all be dickmatized for about 7 years. You know what I'm saying? And the dude, give me your whole check. And you're okay, baby. You know, y'all can't let that happen, man. You gotta have some kind of control over yourself. Have some discipline. Because them signs be there. Y'all just overlook it. Let me tell you, And I don't mean to tell her business, but I like to use teacher moments. So I got a 24-year-old.
Right.
Okay, an older dude was trying to talk to her. Now, I don't mind if an older person trying to talk to her, but I told her certain red flags that if you see, that is no. You don't get it, you cut it short. And this person was like, I'm the only one you talking to, right? And I said, cut it short. He crazy. This motherfucker ain't even dating you, and he already worried about if you talking to another dude or whatnot. I'm your daddy. I can't talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, there's red flags, and some of y'all get them red flags. A dude tell you, do you know some shit? You know, he being y'all, and same with dudes, man. We can see we hypnotized by that ass. We'll see a fat ass, and we be stigmatized, man. We, oh shit, you know, and we just, the chick be like, do anything. I'm gonna have my male friend come over, you know what I'm saying, and he just gonna chill with me, okay? Okay, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, be stupid, stuck on stupid, doing dumb stuff. We gotta have some discipline and get to know who we gonna get with. Because these people just don't out of the blue come up crazy. We just miss signs. If the crazy ain't in them, you can see it in their family and be like, you might exhibit this down the road.
That's right. So many red flags, you can start your own army. I get it. But what if she has a coochie like Wonder Woman? Then what do you do?
And shit, you beat that meat. You don't ever let her get control of it. You beat that meat, slap that meat. You know what I'm saying? Don't let her get no control over you, man. Be brother. Be strong. Don't let, fellas, you gotta be strong. Ladies, y'all gotta be strong. And y'all gotta think, man, you know what I'm saying? That you ain't getting something new. Some of y'all be out here acting like what you getting is new. 30 other people that had that. Why are you acting like you got something brand new? Why are you treating the women that you get or the men that you got that like you the only person that ever got that? You know what I'm saying? The other people that ran through them. So treat it as such until that person show you that, man, look, man, I'm going to be down for you no matter what. Unless they show you that, why are y'all jealous and, you know what I'm saying, and acting certain ways of this? Look, man, if you got to run behind somebody, if you got to run behind them for them to prove themselves, you better off just going on and being by yourself. I'm telling you. Go get you, ladies, y'all got them pillows with the arms that's like this? You know what I'm saying? Get you one of them. Fellas, go get you Bertha 6000. They got them sex dolls. Clean her up with some rubbing alcohol. Slide up under the bed. Don't go through this shit y'all going through. I'm just telling y'all, man, they got the pussy pocket. Ladies, y'all got them vibrating. Y'all got to get control of y'allself in the bedroom. I know it's different than when you got a warm body. I get it. But some of y'all, man, it all based on sex. Y'all get sex, and then y'all just don't know how to let go. And then y'all become a slave. I'm just telling you, y'all become a slave to it.
And at the end of the day, whether you get a Bertha 2000 or you get a Bob, which is a battery-operated boyfriend for the women, at the end of the day, man, there's just something here that will never fill that hole. Do you understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people, especially if you grew up in a big family, you don't know how to be alone. If you got 7 or 10 siblings and every other weekend you had 10 aunties and uncles come over and they used to play cards and you know, a family reunions, you don't know how to be alone and you don't know how to date yourself. And that's the problem. I know females and men like that will take anything because they can't be alone with their own thoughts. And those are the people I try to stay away from. If you don't know how to be by yourself, there's something wrong here, or something that's happening in your life that nothing, no matter money, men, sex, drugs, is going to feel.
You need therapy.
Yeah.
You need therapy. And I always say this, and I'm just gonna keep it a whole buck there. What the people don't understand is that companionship it doesn't only come in the form of a relationship. Companionship is a whole different thing, okay? Because let me tell y'all something. If you took sex out of your relationship, the question you need to ask yourself, is would you still be with this person if you couldn't be physically, intimate with them?
Right.
And if the question is no, then you are with somebody you shouldn't be with. If you took sex out of it and you felt like you and that person couldn't last, then you with the wrong person.
That's right. That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. Because I knew a girl who said that, okay, so let's just say there's 24 hours in a day, right? Her and her boyfriend could have sex for 2 hours, but when they're not having sex, they arguing. The only time they didn't argue was when they was having sex. So let's say y'all had sex in the last 2 hours, then the other 22 hours out of the day, all y'all doing is arguing. So you're right. If you're in that situation, walk away.
I'm telling you. Because ladies, I'm going to tell y'all, man, more and more, and I don't know about on the ladies' side, but I know on the men's side, more and more men are becoming comfortable being lonely, being alone, and they ain't lonely. People think because you ain't in a relationship, you lonely. Right. No, you got companionship, friendship, you aren't lonely. You just ain't getting sex. You know what I'm saying? You can get that. I don't care what you got to do. Get control of that. Don't put up with the drama just to have some in-house ass. Because the in-house ass ain't worth it. Because 9 times out of 10 with a lot of y'all, not only are you getting that ass, somebody else probably getting that ass too at the same time. So I'm just telling y'all, man, y'all going through drama and stuff that it ain't worth going through. It ain't worth fighting for, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't worth chasing. Because you ain't getting something that's new. It ain't like, man, the majority of us have got in and got with somebody that's a virgin. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? That penis has been in a lot of cooches and that face been hit with a lot of penis. I'm just telling y'all. So you ain't getting nothing new. Quit acting so jealous and acting like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? If that person, if they was gone 10 hours and you got to ask them where they been and they can't give you, they should be able to tell you. Well, I was here, this and this and this happened. And they should verify to you. You shouldn't even have to ask them where they been. Because if I got to ask you, then guess what, man? Man, this is my life. You ain't bringing me no herpes. You ain't bringing me no gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, HIV. You know what I'm saying? What is the other one? Where it was called the blue something.
I don't know. I know yeast infections, about stuff like that.
Man, you ain't bringing me none of that. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all, man, like I said, some of y'all, man, y'all don't even like protection. So everybody y'all do it with, man, y'all are protected. And I'm sorry, I ain't dealing with nobody like that. I can count on one hand how many people I done been with in my life.
Me too.
Some of y'all, man, y'all gotta have octopus arms to count how many people y'all been with. It don't make no damn sense.
But then you also got to be careful about, since you're talking about STDs, about kissing too. Because even you're not penetrating, having intercourse, depending on what she's been doing with her mouth, and she kisses you, you can catch STDs in your mouth. I hope everybody heard me say that. You can catch STDs in your mouth.
Man, and I don't mean to gross y'all out, but this is why I am not a kisser. No. I know somebody who was having sex with this girl. And, she finished it off and she swallowed them kids, right? She heard a knock on the door, her and the dude. She went downstairs, opened the door. Guess who was at the door?
Who was that?
Her boyfriend, right? Guess what the first thing he did when he seen her? Without hesitation, kissed her in the mouth. So I'm telling y'all, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? I done heard some horror stories from friends. I know people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. So I get it. I understand what drives y'all crazy. But that's why you should dig into the background of the person you with. And men especially, because men, we gossip. Go and interview dudes she been with. You know what I'm saying? And they gonna tell you everything you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Ask them, well, when y'all first got together, man, did she make you wear a condom? No, man, I got that shit raw. Red flag. You need to ask them questions, man. ladies, the same thing, man. Well, you go ask, get with some females, because there's some females that, I know y'all messy. Y'all a little bit messier than we are. But y'all need to go and interview people they didn't have pass with and ask and get the answers, because it tells you everything you need to know. Some of the information is out there for y'all, but y'all don't seek the information y'all should seek. Me, I'm interviewing. It's just like if you buying a house. Sky, you ain't gonna buy a house without asking questions, are you?
Correct.
You're not gonna take out a loan on the car without looking under the car, getting the history of the car, test driving the car. You want to know everything it is about that car before you buy it. You ain't just gonna take no $25,000 loan out on the car without looking at the car.
Right.
So we got to do the same thing when we meet people, especially with so many unstable people out here, and the way that people can't control. There's people out here, they hoes, man. They nymphos. There's a lot of nymphos out here hiding behind relationships. I'm telling y'all. It's a lot of nymphos.
You was absolutely correct.
I had one. I'm telling you. I had one as a teen. I'm like, damn, I was in track. You know how much energy I had. You're draining more energy from me than the track field. I'm like, damn. It's bad. Y'all got to check the history of who y'all with. Just saying.
You're right. I agree, man. It's, again, that's what makes this world so scary. You don't know. You got so many choices. I ain't telling you to live in a box, but just be careful. That's all I can tell you. Do your due diligence, and I hope that in 2024 that you find what you're looking for, spiritually, financially, with a woman, man, whatever you're doing. Damo's just trying to tell you, just be careful. Don't just jump in the pool blind, because if you ever jumped in the swimming pool blind, if ain't no water in that pool, it's gonna hurt. Trust me.
Have you ever jumped in that water after it sat through winter and spring and summertime came around, and you jumped in that water and you start itching?
Yeah, oh yeah. Because as a reason why public pools has to use chlorine, because chlorine is what keeps y'all all safe from each other. Because you can't be in a public pool like we used to when I was growing up. 50 kids in a pool. Some of the kids ain't showered. They didn't use the bathroom on themselves. Some of them dirty, got disease. I mean, that's what the chlorine is for. So you make sure when you want to do these things that you just, I ain't saying bring your bottle of chlorine, but just protect yourself. This is 2024. We need to think differently and move differently than we did in 1994.
Hell yeah, because I'm going to tell you, especially when we talk about them public pools, because that my end of a public pool is when I knew a couple that was having sex in there, and then they didn't get out the water, they did their business, and then a little 10-year-old girl was swimming by, and then she raised her hand up and was like, "Hey, mama, what is this?" And they hopped out the pool, the two teens, and took off, and I'll never forget that. So I don't mess with public pools, man. You got to be careful of all bodily fluids. You hear me?
That's right.
All of them.
Well, when I was coming up, I didn't have a choice, but as an adult, I can't tell you the last time I've been in a public pool. Now, I have been in pools that, you go to a 5-star hotel and they got the pools down there.
Right.
But I have not been since I was a child in a public pool where you have 50 kids.
You down there,
we all look like a bowl of stew, but we all soaked in this damn water. But as kids, you ain't thinking about that. As kids, you ain't thinking about that. And this is before they start putting the little stuff in the water to let you know if somebody used the bathroom. That's
when it changed colors.
You didn't know if anybody used the bathroom or not in this water. That was back then.
And people, y'all be swimming in there with your mouths open.
Yeah.
Wondering why your eyes is red.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that piss. Hey.
That is absolutely true. So again, this is not 1994.
In that bud.
Yep, this is 2024. People, just be careful. Take that extra step. Don't be lazy. Take the extra step. Learn what you need to learn, and then make a sound decision.
Oh man, you made me think about some stuff. Could you imagine Man, that's why I ain't letting my kids go. You got your kids in there, people in that pool with herpes and gonorrhea and syphilis, and you know ain't nothing that's dividing them, but they shorts and they man, that's nasty.
Oh yeah. And then like in Nashville they had the thing called the wave pool. And that had hundreds of people in that pool at the
and you
same
talk
time.
about it, the wave pool. You ain't talking about at the one at Percy Priest Lake.
No, that's
water
Nashville
pool.
Shores. That's Nashville Shores. The wave pool is over there by Opera Mills Mall.
Oh, I know which one you talking about. Okay,
Mhm.
that was the next one I was gonna say.
Yep.
Woo.
So I ain't been to Nashville Shores since I was a child. I ain't been to the wave pool since I was a child. I ain't been into no community center swimming pool since I was a child. So, you know, I just
It makes
You
you
know.
think. Cause I've been to a public pool when I was a kid. So
Mhm.
you know, you get out the water and you itching and everything. It makes you wonder. I wonder how much. What is that chlorine really killing? Because man, there's some things y'all got in y'all genitalia area that really need. As a matter of fact, some of y'all need to get chlorine right now and pour it in y'all genitalia. Kill all that bacteria. It make me wonder. It make me wonder what the. You be out there itching and shit, skin be all gray. You really wonder what was in there, what was really in that water.
That's real talk. But
Oh,
it had that industry cleaning chlorine that they pulled in that damn pool, and if you open your eyes, boy, that chlorine would tear your eyes all to pieces, man. Tear it
that
all
shit
to
be on
pieces.
fire.
Man.
Oh, man.
Man, that was crazy, but hell, and then a lot of women, and I can probably understand why a lot of girls back then hair didn't grow because that chlorine was probably tearing it out.
Man, that's why them edges dead now. Them edges
Yeah,
still ain't came back to life.
Oh yeah. So if you want your little girl to grow hair, keep her out of the pool, or put a cap over her hair or something. 'Cause,
Oh,
man,
man.
they didn't care about us, man. The food they fed us, the swimming pool they put us in, they just didn't care about inner city kids like that. As long as they
You know that water was
it
bad,
was okay.
Sky. You know that water was bad because it dried out S-curl.
Yeah.
You know how slick that S-curl juice was?
Yes.
Shit. Get out the pool and see if you need to get that S-curl re-implemented or re-put in.
That is absolutely correct. You is right. You know, and I mean, it was just crazy, man. It was crazy. And then, you know, you have a lot of these kids coming out the projects. You know, they had roaches in their swimming bags and all types of stuff.
Man.
And, you know, I've seen it all, brother. I have. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I
You
bet
know
a
what I'm
lot
saying?
of kids got out with ringworm.
Yep. I used to get them because break off of my face the ringworms because I was eating a lot of chocolate back then. I had to quit eating chocolate because it broke me out the ringworms. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's some scary shit, man.
It is.
Man, I know we got to bring this to an end.
Yeah, brother.
Brother, I'm telling you, man, these shows every week, you know, I got to quit. I don't even set them to a time. I think, man, however the way this is flowing, we're going to let it flow. We just now hitting a 2-hour topic. Do you got anything you got going on tonight and this weekend?
Let's see. Y'all know tonight, the radio show, you know, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You know, again, if you're a local artist, man, send me your music so I can play. Don't forget the other podcast I do, the CEO Cartel. And as far as this weekend, we'll just be ready for the Super Bowl. And in my mind, Kansas City's gonna win it until somebody puts Patrick Mahomes out. Kansas City's gonna win it this year, next year, the year after that, until somebody can show me that they can step up and put Kansas City out. I just don't see a team when it's clutch time that can just slow them down. So, you know, even if you up by 24 in the half, as they get into the third and fourth quarter, they just find another gear. They find a way to score, and the next thing you know, it's 4 minutes left, and they up by 3. And you're like, well, damn, we ain't scored no points. They just scored 17 on us that fast. And this is without Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill for 2 seasons has gone to Miami, and yes, he's made Miami good. Don't get me wrong, because they've been to the playoffs 2 years in a row. I couldn't tell you the last time the Dolphins have been to back-to-back playoffs. So he really made them good. But on the Kansas City end, they found a way to continue to be a championship team without their best receiver.
And that's astonishing. You know what I'm saying? I know I wanted to let you guys know that we still have the So Driven Artist, male and female Artist of the Year voting. If you can, you could go to the YouTube page. It's www.youtube.com/the @ So Driven Media. You'll go on there, you can scroll down, you'll find the videos in which the voting is taken. All you have to do is go into the comment section, find the artist that is your favorite artist, and vote for them. Now, under these comment sections, it has their name, it has a link to their music. So when you click on their music, it'll take you to their page. Please follow them also. Please vote, y'all. For the men, we got the So Driven Artist of the Year Award trophy. For my people on Bigo, the trophy looks like.
That's nice.
For the females, we got the female trophy too. So we got the So Driven Artist of the Year females. This is for y'all. And I'm looking for female artists, man. I'm looking for a serious female artist. I thought it was a lot more serious female artists than what there are, but I don't know.
I want this to get so big where we can have a venue like the WWE do, and they charge people to come to the WWE Hall of Fame, so we can charge people to come in, see the ceremony, have the cameras, go live, do all of that good stuff. I can't wait till it gets that big to where you're able to do that. Have hosts, people dress nice. That's something. Again, I like what Hip Hop in the Ville did, but it was certain things that I was told that they did behind the scenes that was kind of So you can take what they did that was good, add your own spin to it. You know what I'm saying? And make it really something huge to where right now you're just doing hip hop. Hey, you might do R&B, soul, country, bluegrass later on. You know, to where
actually all of them. Actually, I invite the So Driven artists. It's not just about one genre.
Right.
All genres is invited. So if you are a country music singer, if you are a rock and roll artist, I don't care what genre you in. This competition is So Driven artists. It's not about who's the best artist. It's about who's the most driven artist, who's the hungriest artist.
Right.
What artist can go out there and get a lot of people to get behind them and build a fan base big enough to vote for them? That's why it's not a committee. It's all based on fan vote. Who's the hungriest artist? Who's the most So Driven artist? So, and I'm about to announce the leadership, the voting, actually today, later on today. So.
Okay. Well, you would only do a committee for just rules, because most people, when they think of committee, they think of corruption. Like, I know Rob D, so I'm gonna vote for Rob D. No, your committee would just be if somebody broke a rule, right? And instead of coming to you'd be like, well, if you broke this rule and policy. If you want to get back into the competition, go see the committee. You see what I'm saying? Like, not all committees are always the same. So your committee just could be the committee that does the policy. What are the rules and regulations? And then if you break these rules and regulations, what do you have to do? And then your committee can just be that. So that way everything don't fall on you, because you're going to be a busy guy. And you don't want everybody coming to you with a bunch of questions all the time, you know?
Right. Yeah, bro. And that's it, man. We want to thank you guys again, man. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to make this entertaining for you guys every week.
Yes.
Sky, it's an honor, an absolute honor to do this with you every week. So and I appreciate you.
You know, it's Black History Month, so I'm hoping me and you going to have some fun this month. Maybe we'll have some Black History quotes or find some Black History people, because every time I turn around, they talking about, well, this black man invented this and this black man invented that and this black man, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I can believe it, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people might not know it. Give a shout out. I don't know who hit me up on X. I still call it Twitter. I'm sorry. Whoever you are, shouts out to. I have no clue who that is. David, thank you. Angela, thank you. Lady T, aka Tasha, thank you. T Baby, thank you. Classic Man, thank you. Did I miss anybody else? Amber, thank you. If you still watching, girl, when you come back, holler at me. Johnny Lewis from Indiana, thank you. Man, we had a lot of people talking today. So yeah, thank you for everybody and everybody who watched. Next Tuesday, we'll come up with another subject and come join, have fun, join the conversation.
Most definitely, man. Peace out. I wanted to leave you guys with this, as I do every week. The only thing guaranteed in life is death.
That's it.
So don't worry about things that's out of your control. Appreciate being on this half of the dirt while you're here.
That's right.
And do not take time for granted, because time is the most valuable thing that we have in our life. God bless you guys, man. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out and hello to all my people on Bigo. If you're on Bigo, Sky, I got to get you on there, man. I got to show you how to do it. Because Bigo, we actually able to put and do a panel of 12 people and have a conversation like this. And it is so fun. And I think if we got our team on there, we really could draw a big crowd. Yeah. And so shout out to everybody on Bigo. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch, and all of our platforms. We appreciate y'all. Same time next week. We out.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah.
Love y'all. And till next week.
Have a good week.
Yes, sir.